Hi, I'm Nikki Jabor, and with the arrival of spring, many of us are anxious to get outside and give our gardens a thorough cleanup. If you're like me, you probably leave grass stalks, perennial plant stems, and leaves in your garden all winter long. Not only do they provide winter interest, but they also provide winter habitat and protection for beneficial insects and pollinators like bees, butterflies, and ladybugs. So you want to make sure you don't get out too early to tidy up in spring. So how early is too early to start cleaning up the garden? Well, keep in mind that all those beneficial insects and pollinators may still be hiding in the hollow stems of your plants or under leaf litter. It's best to wait to clean up until the daytime temperatures are consistently above 10 degrees Celsius. Now that we know not to rush spring cleanup, let's talk about how to clean up your containers, your perennial garden, and your veggie beds. Let's start with containers. If you grew food or flowers in containers, pots, or planters last summer, it's time to empty out those containers and refill them with fresh potting mix. You can use the old potting soil in your vegetable beds or top up your flower beds. It's also a good time to inspect your pots. I keep breakable pots like terracotta and clay in my garden shed over the winter. Plastic pots sometimes get left in my garden or on my deck, so before I plant them up in spring, I want to make sure there are no holes, cracks, or other damage to the containers. If there is, I'll recycle them. Spring is also the time to give terracotta pots a scrub before they're potted up for the season. Mineral and salt deposits can build up on the outside surface of clay pots and give them an aged appearance. I don't mind that, but I don't want caked on dirt and grime on my pots. I use a stiff brush on the inside and outside surfaces and then give them a quick wash in warm soapy water. In the ornamental garden, I begin by uncovering any plants that were mulched with an insulating layer of evergreen boughs. If the soil is very wet, stay out of the garden, as you don't want to compact the soil around your plants. If it's dry, you can then start to tidy up debris and leaves around perennials and shrubs. I use leaves in my perennial beds as winter insulation. This bed was only planted last year, and the leaves helped prevent the freeze-thaw-freeze cycle of winter from damaging the perennials. But you need to remove those leaves in early spring so the plants can emerge. I wait until we've had a good stretch of mild weather so that any good bugs that overwintered in the leaves, ladybugs, damselbugs, and many butterflies, can emerge safely. Clip back the dead stems of perennials like coneflowers, Shasta daisies, and bee balm. I cut them back to just a couple of inches above the ground, and then I place those stems around the garden so that if there's any overwintering insects still inside those hollow stems, they can emerge when the conditions are right. I also cut back the dead stalks of my warm season ornamental grasses, like maiden grass. You want to do this before the new shoots emerge in late spring. If you wait too long, you might damage the new growth. I use a sickle, and I just simply grab a bundle of the grass and I cut it off with the sharp edge of the sickle. These hollow stems are placed loosely on top of my compost pile to accommodate any potential pollinators or beneficial bugs still hiding inside. Pull any weeds that have popped up over the winter or early spring and top dress beds with a 1-inch layer of compost. You may also wish to apply a slow-release organic flower fertilizer to the garden at this time. Finally, insert plant supports around perennials that tend to flop over, like peonies. The first task I do in my vegetable garden is inspect the raised beds and structures for rot or winter damage. My beds are fine, but I did find a broken trellis that I'll need to fix before I can plant. Because I harvest into autumn and winter, there is always old plant debris I need to tidy up in early spring. Dead leaves and stems are removed and added to the compost pile. I also pull any weeds as they appear. This is a great time to test your garden soil so you know what organic amendments and fertilizers to add to your garden beds. I usually dig in materials like compost, aged manure, and leaf mold. And if you grew a cover crop last fall, this is the time to dig it in. Finally, when your compost pile has thawed, you can start to give it a fresh turn. I guess I'll be waiting a little longer for that.